In this video, we're going to go through a complete step-by-step guide on how to get licensed and start your real estate career in Ohio. Plus, we're going to give you a couple of important questions to ask when interviewing for your first brokerage. And at the end of the video, we're going to cover all the costs associated with getting licensed in Ohio so you know exactly how much to budget. Let's dive right into the video. My name is Chris with the Empire of Real Estate YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about real estate, personal finance, and entrepreneurship. Before we get started, I want to offer you our free How to Get Licensed and Start Your Real Estate Career Guide. Everything in this video, plus a little bit more, is inside that guide. To get your copy, there's a link down in the description below. I hope you enjoy it. Before we dive into all the steps to get licensed, you have to meet a couple basic requirements. The first one is you must be 18 years old or older. You must have a high school diploma or a GED. And you must not have anything on your record that would come up in a background check that might prevent you from getting licensed. The very first step to getting your Ohio real estate license is meeting the real estate pre-license education requirements. In Ohio, you're required to complete 120 hours of state-approved pre-license education. And yes, I know, 120 hours is a ton of time to sit in a classroom, especially if you have a busy 9-to-5 job or just a busy work schedule in general. Because of this, we highly recommend you check out Honduras Real Estate College. They're partnered with Calibri Real Estate, and they offer these classes online. So it's really convenient, and they do a really good job. So if you want to check them out, there's an affiliate link down below with different sales and discounts. After you complete your pre-license education classes, I would spend some time studying. Studying for the exam is super important because if you didn't know, this exam has a really high failure rate. And to avoid that, I want to give you a couple of important tips and things you can do to give yourself a higher chance of passing. The first tip is to time block at least an hour a day for at least a week after you complete your pre-license education. Using this time to study, read through the material that you got in your pre-license classes, read through some textbooks can be very good, and it will help you retain a lot more knowledge and give you a higher chance of passing the exam. The next tip is finding a real estate study buddy to go through this process with you. Having somebody to hold you accountable, to study with, and to do things like practice with flashcards and make it a lot more interactive and fun can increase your odds of passing the exam by quite a bit. If you're having fun, you're probably going to retain a lot more and you're probably going to study more, which is going to increase your odds of passing. So finding a real estate study buddy can be a really, really good thing if you can find one. If you can't find a real estate study buddy and the textbooks are just too boring, then I would highly suggest you check out Prep Agent. Prep Agent is a test-like simulation tool that I use to pass my real estate exam. And what they do is they put you through test-like simulations and give you instant feedback. So if you get a question wrong, it will tell you why you got that wrong. And this helped me retain a lot more of the information a lot quicker, and it gave me the confidence to pass my exam. So if you want to check them out, there's an affiliate link down in the description below. Once you feel confident that you are ready to pass your exam, it's time to schedule it. The exams are held with PSI testing centers in Ohio, and to schedule your exam, you're going to want to go on their website or give them a call. Give them at least 24 hours notice so they can get you on their calendar. And when you show up on test day, bring a basic non-scientific calculator for the math portion of the exam and 2 forms of identification to get in on test day. Once you walk in the testing center, you're going to notice right away that it's a closed book multiple choice exam. Now, the fact that it's closed book means you're going to have to retain all the information and make sure you study really hard. But it's multiple choice, so you're probably going to finish the exam early. So I would not rush through this exam. Rushing through the exam is going to increase your odds of failing because the questions can be worded in a tricky way, and they don't do this to trick you. They do this because they want to make sure you really know the knowledge before they issue you a real estate license. So make sure you read each question multiple times, don't rush through it, and you're still going to probably finish the exam early. Once you've completed the exam and you walk out of the testing center, you're going to find out right away if you passed or failed. So you don't need to be super anxious and you're not going to need to wait a long time to get the results. If you did fail the exam, don't worry, it's okay. A lot of people failed the exam. Some of the top agents throughout the entire country failed the exam the first time that they took it. So it doesn't mean you're going to be a bad real estate agent. It just means that you need to come back and retake the test after you study a little bit harder. If you did pass the exam, it's time to celebrate. This is a huge milestone. You got through your 120 hours of pre-license education classes, which is a ton of work, and you passed the exam the first time around. So it's time to celebrate and really pat yourself on the back for doing a great job. The next step is getting your background check and fingerprinting done. So in Ohio, you're required to get a background check and fingerprinting done to make sure you have nothing on your record that would prevent you from getting licensed. The next step is finding the perfect sponsoring broker. Now, this is a fun part of the process because you're going to get to go talk to brokers, you're going to get to see real estate offices, and it's a really, really exciting time. I remember when I was going through this process, I was amazed at how big some of these offices were, and it was just a really cool time in my career. So there are some important questions to ask when you're about to get licensed, because picking the right real estate brokerage can make a huge difference in your success as a new agent. Because having the right mentor is just going to take a lot of the frustration out of this business, and having the right systems in place is going to increase your odds of succeeding. If you didn't know, this business has a 87% failure rate. So picking the right brokerage can be a very important part of this process. So the first question I would ask if I was starting all over again is, do you have a mentor in place? Having a mentor for the first 3 to 5 deals is extremely important, because there are so many things that can go wrong on your first 3 to 5 deals. And if you've never been there and dealt with these situations, you're going to get anxious, you're going to get nervous, you're going to be stressed out, and it's going to make starting this business a lot less fun, and you might feel kind of lost and alone. So having a mentor that's been there through these situations, that has experience to kind of get on the phone with you and work on the situation with you, will make all the difference. I remember on my first 3 to 5 deals, having a mentor was super important. The next question I would ask is if they have a training system in place. Training as a new agent is super important, but don't confuse this with a mentor. A training system and a mentor are 2 separate things, but when you pair them together, it becomes a very powerful thing and will be a huge game changer to getting your career off the ground. The very first thing you want to look for in a training system is if they have something that's going to guide you from day one all the way to building a successful business. So these can be video modules, they can be weekly trainings at the brokerage, or they could be daily classes that are held for new agents that come into the brokerage. So having something like this is really ideal because you can use this on your own time. You can walk through this with yourself. And if you pair this with a good mentor, you're really going to accelerate how fast you get your business off the ground. One of the worst things about being a new agent is walking into the office on day one and not knowing what to do. There are agents that are busy, everybody's doing their own thing, and you're just kind of sitting there. And if you don't do something about this, then you're going to be in a situation where days and weeks and months go on and you just don't get your business off the ground because you don't know what to do. So having a good training system in place will help minimize this and help you get to where you want to be a lot quicker. The third question to ask is, how are you going to get business? As a new agent, one of the most challenging things is finding new clients. The majority of agents that quit this business don't quit because they don't like real estate or doing real estate. They quit because they're not making any money, because they can't figure out how to market their business and get new clients. Having this conversation up front with a good real estate brokerage is going to give you an idea on which one is the right fit for you. Some brokerages will teach you how to market to your SOI. This is basically your sphere of influence marketing. This is your friends, your family, your network, and this can work if you have a good sized network. There are a lot of agents that build 6-figure businesses with just this avenue alone. But when I started, I didn't have a giant network. I was only 22, so I had to go a different route. And there are other options. There are things like real estate teams that will offer you leads, that will do marketing for you. And then there are other brokerages that will teach you how to prospect and to cold call and do all that stuff. So depending on how you want to build your business will really depend on which brokerage is the perfect fit for you. But having this conversation up front is really important. By the way, we are looking for new agent partners in Ohio. So if you're interested in partnering with me over at Team Power Unit, there's a link down in the description to jump on a 30-minute Zoom call. And if it's a good fit, that's awesome. If not, maybe I can point you in the right direction. The next step of this process is submitting your license application. So you're going to package up your past real estate exam, your completed real estate pre-license education, and your past background check, send it out. You're going to wait a couple weeks and you're going to get that back in the mail with a approval or a denial. Once you get approved, you're going to take your license, you're going to hang it at your sponsoring brokerage that you decided to go with, and it's time to get started and start building your business. So it's a really exciting time. But before we go, I do want to give you all the costs associated with getting licensed so you know how much to budget to get started. The very first cost I want to go over is your pre-licensed education classes. And I would budget between $1,500 and $2,000 to get this done. Next, you're going to have your real estate exam, which is about $122. Then you're going to have your background check, which is about an additional $100. After that, you have your license application fee, which is about $75. Last but not least, I would budget between $200 and $500 to get started with your first brokerage and get E&O insurance. So as you can see, getting licensed really isn't that expensive. The hardest part is completing the pre-licensed education classes and passing your exam. So if you're going to get licensed this year, I definitely want to hear from you in the comment section below. And if you have questions about getting your license, definitely drop that in the comment section below as well. And I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks so much for tuning in, and you have an awesome day.